While the Dallas Cowboys appear set for many years at starting quarterback, that doesn't mean they won't ignore the position completely in the 2019 NFL Draft. In recent years, it appears that Dallas is wanting to establish a solid pipeline of QB talent and create competition along the depth chart. Remember that in 2016 Dak Prescott was originally drafted to be groomed behind Tony Romo. The preseason brought an unexpected change, but the Cowboys invested a mid-round pick in the QB position for the first time since Stephen McGee in 2009. 2 years later, Dallas used a fifth-round pick on Mike White. Even though they already had Cooper Rush, who had been very impressive in the 2017 preseason, the Cowboys drafted White to bolster the depth chart and compete with Rush. Recent history gives us good reason to think that if Dallas sees a QB they like in the 2019 draft, they could easily select that person to add to the competitive mix. That being said, it's unlikely that the Cowboys would draft any QB before day 3 of the draft. In fact, it probably wouldn't be until the 7th round. Dallas Cowboys QB Cooper Rush having just spent a mid-round pick on Mike White last year, the Cowboys will likely want to give him this year to develop and show what he's got. They also may be hoping for a bounce-back year from Cooper Rush, who didn't repeat his exciting 2017 play last season. But if an intriguing 2019 prospect like Jacob Dolaga or Brett Rypien were to be available in the final round of the draft, Dallas might go ahead and grab one of them. Neither Rush or White showed enough last season that they should be untouchable. Rypien is definitely someone to keep an eye on. He graduated from the Cowboys' unofficial farm system, Boise State, where they've drafted several players over the last few years. He is arguably the second-best QB to play for the Broncos other than Dallas' new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. He also has NFL pedigree as the nephew of former Redskins QB Mark Rypien. Rest assured, Moore is very familiar with Rypien as fellow Boise State alumni. If Kellen is at all interested in working with him, that connection could easily bring Brett to the Cowboys. But that's about all we should expect from the 2019 draft when it comes to Dallas and the quarterback position. Outside of some intriguing prospect that they don't want to risk having to compete for in undrafted free agency, prompting them to use a late-round pick, the Cowboys will likely focus on positions of greater need. Draft likelihood, 10% projected round, *6 7th*. The Cowboys don't currently have a 6th-round pick but could acquire one in a potential trade. 2019 NFL Draft quarterback Dallas Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett is heading into his 9th NFL Draft as head coach of America's team. Garrett doesn't necessarily get all the credit for the draft, as there are scouts and front office personnel who put in lots of time and effort on the prospects that are selected on draft weekend. With that said, the draft has become the primary vehicle for how the Dallas Cowboys build a roster, and it's been mostly successful, and they've become one of the better drafting teams in the NFL. Though it started out slow, they've really hit their stride in the last several years, hitting on several picks in the middle to late rounds. The 2016 draft class was one where they found 6 players who made significant contributions to the team in 2018. The 2014 draft class produced arguably 2 of the best players on the team in Zach Martin and DeMarcus Lawrence. The 2011 draft signified a shift in the thinking of the front office, largely thanks to Jason Garrett, who urged the team to invest in protecting its most valuable asset, quarterback Tony Romo. As the team prepares to add significant pieces to their 2019 roster, let's take a look back at the last 8 drafts and the best selection the Cowboys made each draft. Several of these picks are going to be first-round selections, because the Cowboys hit home runs with those picks. With others, they were able to strike gold in later rounds. Let's take a look. 2011 Tyron Smith, defensive tackle, first round, 9th overall. This pick, more than any other, signified the changing of the guard and philosophy of the Dallas Cowboys led by first-year head coach Jason Garrett. When the Dallas Cowboys selected Tyron Smith with the 9th overall pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, it was the first time in owner and general manager Jerry Jones' tenure that the Cowboys had spent a first-round pick on an offensive lineman. After playing right tackle his rookie year, Tyron Smith moved to left tackle and has been one of the best at his position in his 8-year career. Smith has been selected as a first-team All-Pro twice and has made the Pro Bowl each of the last 6 years. Despite injuries, he's been an anchor on the left side of the offensive line both in the run and the pass game. His athleticism, strength, and skill have been a perfect blend as the Dallas Cowboys transitioned to running the ball more than they did early in his career. 2012 Tyrone Crawford, defensive line, 3rd round, 81st overall. This was the year that the Dallas Cowboys traded up in the 1st round to select Morris Claiborne. While Claiborne never reached the level of play expected of a top 10 pick, he was still a solid player when he was available. And his injuries, more than anything, are what kept him from being a long-term answer for the Dallas Cowboys at-time cornerback. Tyrone Crawford, the team's 3rd-round pick from that season, has been a solid contributor along the defensive line in his 6 years with the Dallas Cowboys. He's been good for 5 to 6 sacks a season and has become one of the leaders on the defense. Crawford's ability to play both defensive end and defensive tackle has made him an invaluable role player for Rod Marinelli's defense. Crawford's only failure is to live up to the contract the Cowboys front office gave him, but he's been a good player for the team. 2013 Travis Frederick, center, 1st round, 31st overall. When the Dallas Cowboys traded back in the 1st round of the 2013 NFL Draft and selected Wisconsin center Travis Frederick, much of the draft community considered it a reach. After selecting Tyron Smith in 2011, the Cowboys continued their offensive line construction by selecting their 2nd offensive lineman in the 1st round in 3 years. It took more than 20 years for the Cowboys to select an offensive lineman in the 1st round during Jerry Jones' tenure, and now they had done it twice. 2014 Zach Martin, right guard, 1st round, 16th overall. Honorable mention, DeMarcus Lawrence, defensive end, 2nd round. Were it not for the 2016 draft class, the 2014 group could be considered the best of the Jason Garrett era. Zach Martin and DeMarcus Lawrence are each top 5 players at their position. Zach Martin has been to the Pro Bowl all 5 seasons he's been in the NFL and has been selected to the first-team All-Pro team 3 times. He's played 78 of a possible 80 games in his career, missing time in 2018 because of a hip and knee issues. Prior to that, he'd started every game of his NFL career and been a dominant player while doing it. While Lawrence has been great, injuries and a suspension slowed his development, and it wasn't until the last 2 years that we saw the elite play we've grown accustomed to. Over the last 2 seasons, only Chandler Jones and Ryan Kerrigan have more sacks than DeMarcus Lawrence's 25. He's been both great as a pass rusher and great against the run. He's as good as it gets in the NFL. Anytime you can come away with 2 All-Pro players in one draft, you're doing something right. 2015 Byron Jones, cornerback, safety, 1st round, 27th overall. What would we think about Byron Jones had the Dallas Cowboys made him a corner from the get-go? Jones was moved around the secondary from tight end cover guy to safety, and now to corner, where he thrived in 2018. Sure, he had a poor second half of the season, but that shouldn't erase all the good he did in the first half of 2018. Byron Jones' name has come up in contract discussions this offseason, and it sounds like the Cowboys would like to get a deal done at some point. However, they might want to see more from Jones before dishing out $12 minus $15 million per year. Randy Gregory is the only other player worth mentioning here, but his off-the-field drug and mental health issues have kept him from being the top 10 player he was projected to be prior to testing positive for marijuana before the draft. We saw flashes of greatness in 2018, and he was one of the team's best defenders in the second half of the season. Other suspension is lingering and could affect his ability to play in 2019. 2016 Dak Prescott, quarterback, 4th round honorable mention, Ezekiel Elliott. Anytime that you can find your franchise quarterback, it's best selection of a draft class. The Cowboys' selection of Dak Prescott led to something that rarely happens in the NFL, a seamless transition from franchise quarterback to franchise quarterback. When Tony Romo went down in the preseason game against the Seattle Seahawks, I don't think any of us knew what to expect from the 4th round draft pick. Though Prescott hasn't been perfect, no quarterback is. He's helped the Dallas Cowboys make the playoffs in 2 of his first 3 seasons, while having a winning record in each of his 3 years in the NFL. For his career, Prescott is flirting with a passer rating around 100 and has become one of the better dual-threat quarterbacks in the league, scoring 6 touchdowns a season on the ground. Prescott's become one of the more important leaders on this team. His inability to be fazed by game situation or importance is one of his greatest attributes. Dak Prescott's never out of a game. Even when he's not playing well, he always seems to find a way to make plays at the end to get his team back in the game or take it over for the win. Ezekiel Elliott has been an important player, there's no doubt about it, but he's been exactly what he should have been after being selected as the 4th overall pick. When you take a running back that high in the draft, he better lead the league in rushing and be a part of your identity. The issue isn't so much in Elliott, the player, it's in the way the NFL values the running back position these days. 2017 Xavier Woods, safety, 6th round pick. The 2017 draft is most remembered for the selection of defensive end Taco Charlton over now Pittsburgh Steelers outside linebacker TJ Watt, but it was what the Cowboys did after the 1st round that was remarkable. Remember that prior to the draft, the Cowboys allowed Barry Church, J.J. Wilcox, Brandon Carr, and Morris Claiborne to walk in free agency. 2 of their top 3 corners and 2 of their top 3 safeties were gone. In the draft, the Cowboys selected 4 defensive backs in Chidobe Awuzie, Jordan Lewis, Xavier Woods, and Marquez White. The most impressive in their first 2 years has been Xavier Woods. Initially, Woods had to work some as a slot cornerback because of injuries in the secondary and ineffectiveness of free agent signing Nolan Carroll. In 2018, Woods made the full-time transition to free safety and was a bright spot for a Cowboys defense that was in the top 10 in many defensive statistics in the NFL. 2018 Leighton Vander Esch, linebacker, 1st round. It's still very early in his career, but 2018 1st round pick Leighton Vander Esch looks to be an excellent selection thus far. In his first year, he supplanted Sean Lee in the lineup after Lee returned from injury. Combining with Jalen Smith, they were one of the best linebacker duos in the NFL in 2018. Vander Esch had a case for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was tied for the team lead in interceptions and was a tackling machine. Like I said, it's still early in his career, but if 2018 is any indication, there's a lot to be excited about in the future. The Cowboys have done really good work at retooling their team as they've stayed competitive during the Jason Garrett era. Though they went 8-8 in the first 3 years, over the last 5, they've gone 48-32, won the NFC East 3 times, and been to the divisional round of the playoffs each of those 3 years. A lot of that success is because of the success they've had in the draft. Few teams can boast as much drafted talent as this young Dallas Cowboys squad can. From their quarterback to their pass rush, the Dallas Cowboys have been able to find the elite pieces at the money positions through the draft. When it comes to the draft, the Cowboys brass is like a kid on Christmas, ready to unwrap their shiny new toys. You will often see fans clamoring for a team to trade up in the NFL draft, hoping to snag a player that they're worried won't fall to their team's current pick. We should expect a lot of that in 2019 with the Dallas Cowboys, but just how much trade value do their picks really have? With the Cowboys not having a first-round pick in 2019, thanks to sending it to Oakland for Amari Cooper last October, the crowd is going to get antsy. Being left out of the fun on Thursday night will stink for all of us, and it will have many desperate to see Dallas land a player who falls into the second round. However, any thoughts of Dallas trading up into mid or late 30s are probably wishful thinking. That's because the Cowboys' current 2019 picks simply aren't worth that much. According to the traditional value chart for NFL draft selections, here is what Dallas picks are worth. Second R&D, 58th overall equals 320 points. Third R&D, 90th overall equals 140 PTS. Fourth R&D, 128th overall equals 44 PTS. Fourth R&D, 136th overall equals 37.5 PTS. Fifth R&D, 165th overall equals 25 PTS. Seventh R&D, 241st overall equals 1 PT. To put this into perspective, the total book value of all of our 2019 picks is 567.5 points. The first two picks of the second round are worth 580 and 560 points each. In other words, based on standard value, Dallas would have to package nearly all of its draft picks to move up to the top of the second round. Of course, these values are just the starting point in negotiations. Teams may be willing to accept less if they're desperate to trade down and acquire additional picks. But generally, we see draft trades stay close to the standard formula. The trading power of draft picks is relative to the round you're trying to move up in. The 25 points from your fifth round pick is almost a drop in the bucket in the second round, but in the fourth round it could move you from the 128th spot up to around picks 112 to 113. Given how stocked the Cowboys roster already is, you could make a case for Dallas to combine picks and land superior players. Combining their second and third round picks could move them up from 58th to 44th. If they wanted to combine both fourth-round picks and the fifth, they could potentially move back into the bottom of the third round. Dallas Cowboys DT Maliek Collins. If Dallas really wants to improve its positioning in this draft, using some of its current players in trades may be the best way to do so. A guy like Maliek Collins, a multi-year starter but entering a contract year, could get them a decent mid-round pick. Or what about Taco Charlton, who was a first-round guy just 2 years ago but seems to be falling down the depth chart? Any player who's at risk of not making your team at final cuts, or at least not factoring in your long-term plans, could be more valuable in a trade now than whatever they're going to do for you on the field in 2019. If you can get some extra picks for these guys, that's more trading power for you to use. The Cowboys have the luxury of not needing a lot from this draft. Outside of maybe a backup running back, the team has no immediate issues that would stop them from fielding a competitive team next season. This year's draft seems more about landing talent for the future, a tight end, safety, or defensive tackle who can rotate now and take on a larger role next year. If you really love the long-term potential of a player who you don't think will fall to your pick, this is a great year to make bold moves and trade up. But clearly, the Cowboys will have to get creative. They've already made the biggest splash of their 2019 draft by trading that first-round pick for Amari Cooper. Their strong finish to the year didn't help their draft positioning, either. Still, as we've discussed, Dallas has options to make moves if they're willing to get aggressive and take some risks. Name: Tony Pollard. Position: running back. Wide receiver. School: Memphis Conference. AAC class: RS Junior jersey, no. Recruitment rating: 3-star HT, 5 feet 11 inches WT, 200 DOB, 4/30ths. Rushing and receiving. Rushing, receiving, scrimmage, year, school, CONF, class, POS, G at yards, AVGTD, rec yards, AVGTD, plays yards, AVGTD, asterisk, 2015 Memphis American FRWR 000 2016 Memphis American FRWR 1331, 1595.11, 29, 29810.32, 60, 457, 7.63 asterisk, 2017 Memphis American Americans RB13, 302, 307.72, 36, 536, 14.94, 66, 766, 11.66 asterisk 2018 Memphis American Junior WR14, 78, 5527.16, 39, 458, 11.73, 117, 10108.69 Career Memphis 139,941, 6.89, 104, 129, 212.49, 243, 223, 39.218 Kick and punt returns Kick ret punt ret year school CONF class pass G ret yards AVGTD ret yards AVGTD asterisk 2015 Memphis American FRWR asterisk 2016 Memphis American FRWR 1338 1068 28.12199.00 asterisk 2017 Memphis Americans RB 1322 88140.04 122.00 asterisk 2018 Memphis American Junior WR 1427 667 24.71000 Career Memphis 87 2616 30.17 2 115.50 Highlights. Follow JBP on IG, https://www.instagram.com/justbombsproduction/ click show more. Follow me on Twitter, https://twitter.com/ScottTakeAid. Follow me on Instagram, https://www.instagram.com/ScottTakeAid/ follow JBP on Twitter, https://twitter.com/JBP_official. Like JBP on Facebook, https://www.facebook.com/just-bombs-productions-255863801590167/ Memphis Tony Pollard Jr. 6'0", 208 pounds. Check out my backup channel, https://www.youtube.com/channel/act48 Slim JRC 40TS-CM70E3W intro song, https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=6 Nirits NM. All rights go to the University of Memphis. ESPN, Host Digital Sports, Memphis Athletics, the American Athletic Conference, AAC Network, Universal Music Group, the NCAA. Pros. Tony Pollard had a productive 3-year run as a unique, versatile weapon in the Memphis offense. He was a triple threat and played running back, wide receiver, and was the primary kick returner with the Tigers. He ended his collegiate career as one of the best return men in the nation, returning 7 kickoffs for touchdowns during his career. As a runner, Pollard shows natural contact balance and does an excellent job of setting up blockers in front of him. He thrives in one-on-one situations with a defender, effortlessly glides past defenders, can set them up with a juke move, or get vertical when necessary. Not overly shifty, but has some elusiveness. Not afraid to stick his nose in there and pick up the tough yards. Excels as a gadget player on jet sweeps, end-arounds, and reverses. Pollard has the ability to be a weapon out of the backfield or split out wide as a receiving option in the NFL. Versatility to line up all over the formation. Can extend and contort his body to balls thrown outside his frame. Solid route running ability that should improve with time and better coaching. A threat to take it to the house anytime he gets the ball in space. Shows good effort when stop blocking and in pass protection. Cons. Despite Tony Pollard's unique, versatile skill set, finding a defined role for him in the NFL may prove difficult. Had limited reps at Memphis as a runner and receiver because of better talent. Might just be a gadget player. He is a tweener prospect and will need to play in the right scheme in order to have success at the next level. Is a jack of all trades, master of none. Pollard has only average speed and agility. Not going to be able to run away from defenders in the NFL. Doesn't have the strength to pick up the dirty yards or push the pile as a running back. Can be impatient as a runner. Runs too tall and doesn't fall forward. Struggles to change directions due to hip tightness. Takes time to break down and alter his course. Pollard is a work in progress as a receiver. Has a tendency to fight the ball, causing him to double catch it. showed too many drops on film. Don't know if it's because of lack of focus or catching technique. Really needs to improve his route running. Will run rounded routes and telegraphs his slant patterns. Also has a tendency to break off routes too soon. Willing blocker, but not physical enough. Cowboys fit. It was interesting to see the Dallas Cowboys show an interest in Tony Pollard and bring him in as one of their 30 pre-draft visitors. When I think of Pollard and the skill set he could provide with the Cowboys, I immediately think of Tavon Austin. Both players are kind of a hybrid running back, wide receiver, and both of them excel in the return game. The only difference between the two is Pollard is a little bit bigger, but doesn't have Austin's top-end speed. If added to the Cowboys roster, Tony Pollard would likely play a similar role to what Tavon Austin has during his time in Dallas. I don't view either as a full-time starter, but more as a gadget player to be deployed in certain situations as both a runner and receiver. Pollard's value as a rookie would be in the return game as the Cowboys' return specialist. His Swiss Army knife skill set could prove valuable, but finding a defined role for him with Tavon Austin still on the roster is difficult.